What does your favorite Arcane character say about you according to a psychology graduate student? I know you've been waiting. I know that there are those who have been checking the page every single day to see if I was going to do Sevika. I'm a woman of my word, of course I was going to do it, but there's been a lot of things happening and I wasn't even sure if I could make this video or where I would be. But I'm so glad to see that those who are loyal to me and my analysis and want to be cut with surgical precision have followed me over to this app. And we're gonna continue to make videos, we're gonna continue to make it work, and we're just gonna figure it out as we go. So, without further ado, what does Sevika say about you? Muscle mommy. That's it, that's the video. I'm just kidding. Can you imagine? I would never let you off that easy. No, no, no. While it's true that Sevika looks like she could crush a baby's skull with her hand and move on, and there's a lot of people there that want to be crushed by various parts of her body, and I can't say that I blame you. That is not the only reason why you enjoy Sevika. It could be that you enjoy strong women. You like watching someone who comes, knows what she's doing, has the capacity to enter a room and be the most powerful person anytime that she looks at you or whatever she does. And that's a very valid reason to like somebody. But is that the only reason? I don't think so. Get your juice box, because it's about to get painful in here. You don't want to be in charge. And that can go for a lot of different things. And yes, what you thought of, we're gonna get to there. But before we do, you don't want to be the person who is responsible for making decisions for other people. If you are in a group setting and people look at you and say, hey, where should we eat? Wherever you guys want to eat, that's fine. Hey, what should we do today? Whatever you guys want to do, what should we watch? You see the pattern that's happening here? Can you make a decision? Absolutely. And usually what you decide is the best thing to do. And some of you are even crafty enough where you're like working around that you'll be able to get what you want regardless of what you're saying. But you are not the initial person to make the decision, nor do you want to be. There is no part of you that wants to be the queen bee, the leader, nothing in this group. You like playing support, which is exactly what Sevika does. She has a very strong loyalty to her, which is something that is represented in every single one of you. You are a loyal friend. You have causes that you believe in. You're not a wishy-washy person by any means. Now, being able to make a hard decision and believing in something, two different things. There are some people who really want power, who want to be in that captaincy, who want to be responsible for everybody, but they don't realize the responsibility that goes into that. You do. You know what it feels like to have to be in charge of things, and you don't necessarily like it. You would much rather be the person who's kind of standing back and saying, is that the best way that we can do this? In fact, I would venture to believe that that's exactly who you are in D&D, in your board games, in your video games, and anything that requires like teamwork. You're usually the person that goes, is that the best way that we could get this done? Or is there another way that we can do this? And if I say to you, well, that's just the way that we've always done it. Ooh, does that fill you with a corporate rage inside of you? You have really, really great ideas. And what I find interesting is that you don't always believe in yourself. You believe in the ideas, but do you believe that you're the best person to carry them out? Or do you usually think, well, someone smarter, stronger, more charismatic, more talented will come along and do this for you? Is that what's happening? You are very similar to Echo people, not in the hyperactive ways about you, but in the fact that if you have a friend, that friend has had to go through many different trials to earn the position of friendship with you because you do not trust easily. You have been hurt multiple times. So for someone to go through that trust barrier, to open that door, they had to work at it. Now that they have it, they have your trust forever. Like with Sevika, she was with Vander, but then Silco actually cared about the people that she cared about. So she went over to Silco. When Silco passed, she didn't really like Jinx. She thought that Jinx was a loose cannon, no pun intended, but she knew that Silco believed in her. And she knew what she represented for everybody that Sevika cared about. So she changed and supported her. And that maturity, that loyalty, that dedication, those are the things that I could use to describe you. What I can also use to describe you is the fact that no matter how many wonderful qualities you have, it is near impossible for you to be able to say them. If I said, I want you to list 5 good things about you, could you do it? And before you think you got me on that one, List 5 things that don't serve somebody else. You can't say, oh, well, I'm a really good friend, or I'm really kind to people, or, I do A, B, and C. 5 things that are just good about you. You have never felt like the best person in the room, even though oftentimes you probably are, or at least close. You always think that there's someone smarter, faster, better, just someone better than you, and that they really should have the spotlight and you shouldn't. Why is that? Why are you so afraid to step into the light and say, I'm smart, I'm good, I've got great ideas, we need to listen to me? Why do you doubt yourself? And more importantly, who was the first person who made you believe that about yourself? Was it mom? Was it dad? Was it a teacher? Who was it that made you feel like you weren't good enough, or that no matter what you did something wrong? You see how this theme kind of circles around in the Arcane characters, especially the crowd favorites? Jace is second guessed, Victor is second guessed, Jinx is second guessed, and Sevika is second guessed. All of these characters who are beloved, they are the crowd favorites. All of them share something in common. They all second guess themselves, or they are underestimated in some way. Sevika is smart, and she is capable, and she is strong, and she is dedicated, and she can be so many things, and she tries to be so many things, but even when she ends up on the council in the end, they don't trust her. You can tell in their eyes, they do not think she should be there. You have had to fight against that your entire life. You have had to fight for your place at the table because there's always somebody, and more often than not, it's your own voice telling you that you don't belong. The imposter syndrome is so real for you because even if you did everything right, even if you were at the top of your game, even if you were handed every single thing in the world, you would find a way to say, do I really deserve it though? Do I really deserve to be here? Am I just fooling everybody? And that's not only true in work and in school and projects, that's true in your friendships, in your relationships. There's often that you will look at somebody else and think, wow, they're just so good, they're so handsome, they're so pretty, they're so funny, they're so wonderful. Why do these people like me? And then it gets a little bit darker, a little bit deeper, and you think, I have fooled them all into thinking that I'm a good person when I am not. And then that begs the question, how are you simultaneously so undeserving and so underqualified and yet a masterful manipulator? They don't work out the same way, babe. That's not how it works. And yet that is the constant thought that's in your mind, the constant thought process about fooling every single person around you. Why do you think that your friends, your families, your partner, why do you think that they're stupid? And that's a hard thing. And I had to sit there because someone has said this to me before, because I'm right there with you. I never think that I'm good enough. And then my husband had to tell me, why do you think that we're stupid? And I said, well, I don't. And he's like, obviously, there's a part of you that does if you think that you can manipulate us so easily. That was a hard thing for me to hear. I had to sit with it for a long time. So now, drink your juice box because I want you to sit with it too. You have to sit down with yourself and decide, are you really this masterful manipulator who's convinced everyone around you and fooled them all? Or are the people in your lives just not very bright? I don't think either of those things are true. I think that you are fooling yourself into believing that you are less than you actually are. Because you are wonderful, my darling. You are smart, you are strong, you're capable, you're charismatic. You can walk into a room, have your shoulders back, your head up, and you can present those ideas. You can present who you actually want to be because I love that person. I love who you are, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so thankful that you're here. Please remember to follow me and subscribe so we can keep these videos going. And I'll see you in the next part. Stay classy, my darlings.